Hey everyone, Ryan here, MandR Productions, and welcome to ASK MandR Productions episode 222. This week I had to get a security guard because last week I stole a 2x4 brick off the pick-a-brick wall at the Lego store, and I'm worried they might try to come get me. Just kidding, this is MKM Brick, aka Michael. He came down so we could go to the iDubbbz fight, and we spent too much money on tickets, but it was a great time, you know? You could have fought in that. You've been working out.
I think I could have taken a few of those
You
guys.
could have taken a few of the guys. But then again, not all the fights are fair. Anyway, we're going to be answering questions today. He'll definitely get some answers in too, and I'll leave you a link to his channel down below. As usual, if you have a question you want to answer in next week's episode, leave it in the comments. Anyway, starting out with our first question from Canada Bricks. He says, what set had the best glow up? And we might have the same set in mind. Do you have one in mind?
The best glow up. Hold on.
The best glow up. The first version was bad. The second version was good. Oh my god, I can't.
Okay.
And now, okay, you ready?
I think I got one.
3, 2, 1, MTT. Why didn't you say?
I was thinking.
What were you thinking?
I was gonna say Kylo Ren's shuttle.
That's a pretty good one. The second one is really good. But the MTT, the 2000 MTT was horrendous. The 2007 MTT is like widely regarded as one of the best sets of all time, and I think
I agree with that.
Yeah. So the MTT.
I saw the Kylo Ren shuttle up there. I was like, you know what?
Oh, you cheated. You looked around. It's like when the teacher leaves the poster up on the wall during your math test, and it's got all the equations that they told you they wouldn't give you for the test that you had to memorize. Just like that. Anyway. Moving on, next question from Jackson. He says, what is your go-to chip flavor? 3, 2, 1, baked barbecue chips.
Doritos.
What Doritos?
Flamas Doritos.
Flamas?
Yeah, fire.
Baked barbecue chips. Sug Brick says, what editing software do you use for your videos and what software do you use for your thumbnails? Thanks, love the channel. Video's pretty simple, iMovie, and thumbnails is Photoshop now. I didn't used to use Photoshop. I didn't want to use Photoshop, but I was basically forced into it when the free crappy website I had been using for like years and years and years finally shut down. And I was like, well, I guess that's what happens. So yeah, I don't know if you use anything different, but
Adobe Premiere.
Adobe Premiere, fancy. But yeah, Photoshop costs money. iMovie is free, so I would, especially if you're just starting out, just use whatever's free. Photoshop's not going to make or break for you, probably. Benson Lawson says, is there something in your collection you wouldn't sell even if you were offered $1 million? Absolutely not. If you want to offer me $1 million for my New York Toy Fair trophy, I will happily sell it to you, even though it's one of a kind and I could never possibly get another one. $1 million for the New York Yoda, it'd be hard to part with, but $1 million is legitimate life-changing money. I'm not turning that down because I have some bad sentimental attachment to some plastic item. There's just no way. I'm sure Michael's the same, you know?
Exactly the same. Money talks.
Yeah, money talks. It's just $1 million. Anyone want to offer? I will happily sign the contract. Please offer me $1 million. Speaking of $1 million, you're going to need it for this next item. Feep says, thoughts on the $53,000 Comic-Con Iron Man on Bricklink? I thought those figs went for a few thousand. I know they were super limited, but you could nearly buy a car for $53,000. You could buy quite a few cars for $53,000. However, just because somebody listed it for $53,000 on Bricklink doesn't mean it's worth $53,000 at all, because the most recent sold one was like, what was it?
1800.
1800. So yeah, he looked up. It was 1800, and so it's more worth like 1800 or 2000. Like if I go online and list a File First Battle Pack for $10,000, it doesn't mean a File First Battle Pack is worth $10,000. No one is ever going to buy that. So just because it's listed for that doesn't mean it's worth that, and no one's buying it, and it's actually worth like $1,000. So non-issue. And even if it was worth $53,000, good for him. He's going to get some good money.
Yep.
Max Vu says, do you think Lego will ever make another Star Wars set with motorized functions again? I'll let you go first because I already have my answer.
I don't see it happening. Like, I just don't think it's going to happen.
They did a couple early on with the Mindstorms tie-ins. Then they did in 2007 the AT-AT. And then more recently in 2019 they did the Droid Boost. So I think if you had asked me in 2015, I would have said no. But I think my answer is definitely different now. I think, like, maybe the next AT-AT would be another crack at a motorized one. There aren't many things that work as motorized sets for Lego Star Wars, though. But they did it recently with the Batmobile. You know, there are definitely things out there that they could possibly do, and it's something that I would absolutely not rule out for the future. And certainly if they were to take another crack at a motorized AT-AT, that would be amazing, because the first one was really good, but it was 2007. It was a little wobbly, hard to get to work perfectly. I'd like to see them do another try at that. Maori says, hello, MandRproductions. Does it annoy you when helmet molds change, especially with the new ATT that will contain a new Phase 2 clone helmet that will make any Phase 2 clones that have released in the past obsolete, including my 501st clones? So I have a very... It just depends. Does it annoy me when helmet molds change? No. Not if the helmet mold that it's changing to is better or serves like an actual use. For example, when they changed the Stormtrooper helmet to the most recent iteration of the Stormtrooper helmet, it annoyed me, and I think it annoyed a lot of other people because...
Can't turn the head.
Can't turn the head, and it looks like the Family Guy Stormtrooper. Yep. It's just ugly. Like, there's a lot of reasons not to like the new Stormtrooper helmet, I think. If the new Clone Trooper helmet's only changed as a addition of holes on the side, like, I just don't see how that's a bad thing at all. Like, that allows for accessories, and that's a good thing in general. Now, if they change the Clone Trooper head to, like, have this weird chin that doesn't allow you to turn the head at all, and, like, it's like the Stormtrooper helmet where it looks like a Family Guy version of it, that's a problem, and that would be annoying. But generally... Like, in the past, helmet molds have changed all the time for Clone Troopers. It's happened multiple times, and I just, like, it's cool to have, like, to me, old classic 2002 clones for Episode 2. And then you also have the separation or differentiation to the newer version of Episode 2 clones that have a completely different, unique style of look to them. And I don't look at the 2002 clones as obsolete. So I disagree with the idea that it makes them obsolete or bad in any way. Clone Troopers have never really matched, or Lego figures in general, if you're army building over the years, aren't really ever going to match. It is slightly annoying that, you know, it's still the newer style, but it's, I don't know. I don't know if you have anything to add.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think a hole in the side of the helmet makes that big of a difference, and I think it's a good thing if you're progressing and improving. I think that's...
Yeah,
I think it's a positive.
And especially, you say it's not going to match. If it's just holes inside the head, it's going to match.
Yeah,
like, they look the same, just a slightly
deal.
different drill on the side, right? And, like, I think just generally it will match. I don't expect it to look substantially different or, like, unless you're looking at it from the side and you can see the hole, you might not even be able to tell at all. So, I see your point, but it just doesn't align with what I care about. Virtual Boy says, what are your thoughts on LEGO stores not allowing or discouraging their employees to not have social media? So this is a long-known thing about LEGO. It's maybe not something that's known very well, like, publicly, but certainly amongst fans like myself. I don't know if you even know this, but
did not know that.
LEGO actively discourages, like, the hiring of LEGO fans into the LEGO company. That is, like, a pretty well-known thing. Kevin Hinkle has talked about that a lot, although he doesn't talk about LEGO anymore, I guess. But, like LEGO just doesn't want to hire fans to their company generally, and it's not the greatest stance to have as a company. Maybe it's different now. It's been a few years since the last time I heard it talked about, but the general rationale that I have heard for why they don't want to hire fans is because fans will leak things, and, like, I guess I get it from that perspective, but clearly that hasn't worked out very well for them so far. So, like, why not just hire the people that are clearly passionate about your brand and will actually make it better, instead of just hiring random people that don't care about LEGO or the community or anything? So I think it has done them a disservice over the years to have that sort of thing. That's a big company doing big company things. It's not surprising, but yeah, it's definitely not great, I guess. You have a real job. Do they discourage you from having social media?
There's never been anything talked about that, and I've never heard of them not wanting to hire somebody who's passionate about the company. Like, that's encouraged, I would think.
Yeah. Especially in, like, the gaming development. I know you're not exactly like a game developer or anything like that, but that space especially is like that.
I've never heard of not wanting to hire someone
it feels
who
like,
enjoys your product or is passionate about it. It
feels like LEGO's the opposite. Yeah. Next question from Ed. He says, do you think investing in LEGO architectures were worthwhile in the long term, as many sets after being retired have gone up in value? I feel like you answered your own question there. And I will not give you investing advice. I've tried to steer away from that. I've probably repeated this last 5 episodes. However, I just want to share my personal story with LEGO architecture investing. In 2017 or 2018, Christmas thereafter, the LEGO Chicago architecture set was on clearance at my local Target, and they had like 100 of them. You might have seen it in a video of mine. I bought a few of them, and they were like $20 each, and they're worth like $200 now. These are sets that they, for whatever reason, like, couldn't sell. Even for $20, they were just sitting on the shelf. It was shocking, and now they're like $200. So that sort of thing can happen. Do your research. I can't tell you what to spend your money on like that. So, if you think you're going to make money, go wild. If you don't, don't. Robert says, if you could play any Star Wars character in a live-action role, who would it be and why? I cannot act. I wouldn't want to. I feel like I would butcher it. I would rather just be like a clone. I think for me, honestly, the coolest thing would just be in a clone trooper outfit. Like, you can't see my face. Like, I don't want the recognition or anything like that. I just would, it'd be cool to be in a stormtrooper outfit, I guess. But outside of that, I don't necessarily want to be a character that you can see in, like, that talks on screen. That would not be great for me. I don't know if you have...
I think the most basic answer would be a Jedi. But it could be cool to be like
just a random Jedi Geonosis that dies.
It could be cool to be like a bounty hunter or like a smuggler or something. I think that would be kind of cool.
Tammy says, I'm heading to Star Wars Celebration at the end of May. Do you have any ideas what LEGO might be releasing as their Celebration exclusive this year? So, the first rumor that came out about like a week and a half ago was that there would be no Star Wars Celebration LEGO set exclusive for Star Wars Celebration this year. However, that has almost certainly changed, as I have been hearing or seeing somewhere, I can't even remember where, but I just saw it in passing, that the long-rumored Obi-Wan Kenobi versus Darth Vader brickheads, based on the Kenobi show, will be a Star Wars Celebration exclusive. I had heard forever and ever and ever that it would be revealed or released on May 25th, or I guess it might be May 27th now. One or the other, and that date obviously lines up perfectly with Star Wars Celebration. It makes so much sense now that that is probably going to be an exclusive to Star Wars Celebration. I honestly, like, I know some people will be upset, but like, if it's only at Star Wars Celebration, I don't care. I'll buy it on eBay. Like, I know it's gonna cost more. Exclusives are cool though. It's cool to have cool things. Should be the Obi-Wan Kenobi brickheads, but there's also the chance that it will be also available like at your you know, the last time I think they did the Darth Vader, and they had it on Target.com as well for like $40. So it was kind of a 2-in-1 Celebration exclusive. And this was before COVID as well. So it's not like it's a newly implemented thing that they were doing Celebration exclusive split between exclusive at the event and with an online retailer in limited quantities. So that certainly might be happening as well. We should know something within the next week or so. The Dune says, are we, the viewers of Ask MandR YouTube series, required to type Ask MandR in front of every question we write for Ask MandR in the comments section? Oh my god, I can't even read the rest of the question. I think this comment is being facetious, but no. And I told people, like, I don't know, a year and a half ago that you don't have to write it at all. But then people just started doing it more. So, and then I feel like anyone that's new to the series season, they're like, oh, I have to write it. It's like, you don't have to write it. I just read all the questions indiscriminately. And yeah, so you don't have to write it. But that was a very well-written question. And I didn't even realize how many times you wrote that in there. Robert wants to know what the price per piece on the $15,000 Captain Rex is. And I found a picture of the Captain Rex with a placard inside of a Toys R Us that tells you how many pieces it has. And so at the bottom of this picture, it's kind of blurry, but as far as I can tell, it looks like there's about 24,000 pieces within the Captain Rex. I'm sure they're all glued together though, so it's not like you can take them apart. So doing the math, it comes out to about 63 cents per piece. An absolute scam. I wouldn't pay a penny over 10. So yeah, $15,000, and obviously the price that is priced at is not based on the piece count at all whatsoever, but it's definitely interesting to see that, which means it could probably be done, like if I wanted to build my own custom one for less. Good luck to anyone trying to do that. I wouldn't even bother trying. It would take so long to build on itself with 24,000 pieces. Just your time might not be worth that, but yeah, if I could get it for like 10 grand or 7.5, I'd be all over it, but 15 is just too much, especially with that price per piece. Jay says, would you do a Lord of the Rings or Hobbit set reviews? Did I buy these or not? So I think I told Michael this. I want to rewatch it. And you said, is Lord of the Rings your favorite movie series? Yeah. He said his favorite movie series. So tell him everything about Lord of the Rings, like the whole thing.
The whole thing?
Everything. What happens?
There's a ring, and they go on a long journey, and they go to the top of a mountain. And I don't want to give the spoilers, but yeah.
They jump in the lava.
They do a dive off the cliff.
Oh god.
Lord of the Rings is probably, it's a close tie between like Lord of the Rings and Star Wars. Is
that good? So I have been meaning to rewatch it. I haven't watched it in like 8 or 10 years, so I have very little memory of it and like the character names or anything. But I do want to, and you did remind me that I had a cart prepared on eBay the other day to buy a bunch of Lord of the Rings sets that I actually want to review. Is this a good deal? Guys, I need help. Is this a good deal? Comment below.
Comment below after I bought it.
Yeah. So you reminded me of a cart I had put together on eBay a few days ago with a bunch of Lord of the Rings sets. So I got the Tower of Orthanc. I'm going to get the Gandalf Arrives set, which is insane that it's $120. It's like one of the lowest prices sealed in box. And then, I guess these aren't Lord of the Rings, but I'm getting both of the Avengers Iron Man Armory sets, so I can do a comparison on those here with June 1st release of the other set. And then there's a few more Hobbit and Lord... I guess the only Hobbit set I'm getting is an Unexpected Gathering, although I've got a few other Hobbit sets in my storage unit. Don't know if I'm going to review those, but certainly the sets that I'm buying on the screen right now. Oh, and then the big one, the Battle of Helm's Deep, $550. Eesh. But yeah, these are the sets that I want to buy and review, so they are what I'm going to buy and review, and that's what you can expect content on at some point later. And when does the show come out? Later in the year? September?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe in September. It'll be after all the Star Wars summer stuff then. That'll be a good time because I won't have much else going on. So September might be Lord of the Rings month. Daylight Sonata says, what is a question you are tired of getting or annoyed of answering? So do you have one that you think it is? Because I know.
how's the house hunting coming?
How's the house hunting?
Where are the vlogs?
Where are the vlogs? And those are two things that I think are really great that people care about. Yeah, honestly, they are, like, I guess the amount that I get them is annoying, I suppose, but like. The one that I actually think is kind of annoying at this point is one that I think I will get for until the end of time, and that is what does MandR stand for? And I set myself up really poorly with the name because like it's not intuitive because it's just me on the channel. But when the channel was originally conceived in 2010, with obviously I didn't conceive it to become the monster that it is now, but it was going to be me and my brother making videos. So M being Matt and R being Ryan, hence MandRproductions, and like pretty straightforward there. To me now it's just a name. It doesn't actually mean what it originally was supposed to mean. It only meant what it was originally supposed to mean for like 3 days anyway. So like it's just not a thing to me. But it is the question that I think I get by far the most. I got another annoying. I'm sorry. People that keep asking these questions are gonna feel bad. Don't feel bad. It's not a big deal. It doesn't actually make me upset. But this guy asked and I wanted to give him an answer. When are we gonna see pictures of the Somersets? I don't know. Michael doesn't know. Nobody knows. Like pictures leak when they leak. Like they'll be like, when is this gonna leak? It's like leaks happen. That's when is your toilet gonna start leaking? If I knew, so it's just one of those things where it's like it'll happen when it happens, and anyone's guess is as good as mine. I mean, I have given like it's probably gonna be revealed at some point in early July or something at the latest. But like other than that, there's like really no better answer anyone could possibly give you. So yeah. Austin Richardson says, do you think LEGO will ever reprint Cloud City Boba Fett? So sometimes they reprint figures, like obviously like if it's like, within a few years of each other and they're releasing the same figure over and over again. That's happened obviously with like Beskar Mando, right? They keep re-releasing Beskar Mando. But going back to a figure from 20 years ago doesn't happen nearly as often. In fact, I think the 20th anniversary sets were the only ones. Yeah. Can you think of anything else? Like I don't think so. And so when the 20th anniversary figures got reprinted, especially with some of the higher value ones like Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker Pilot, like whatever. But Lando Calrissian in particular from the Cloud City set was one that they reprinted for the 20th anniversary. And that figure, the original version of the figure, I think is still worth a very pretty penny, like hundreds and hundreds of dollars. So I don't know. I don't think they will ever do the Cloud City thing. I don't think they'll ever re-release the original Cloud City Boba Fett. They probably don't even have the mold for like the helmet assembly anyway, so that's probably just out the window. But even if they did, I think that having the original would just still mean so much to people that the value of the original wouldn't be all that affected. But that's just my best guess. I don't know if you think differently, but
I think the only instance it's going to happen is in something like a 20th anniversary.
Right.
So I don't see any other reason they would really like. It would have to be for something like that, and it seems unlikely.
And the 20th anniversary already happened, so they can never do it again.
Nope, it's gone.
Maybe next year for the 24th anniversary. No, but yeah, it's just not something I see them doing, especially a figure like that. It would be interesting though if they had decided to go in and like really toy with the market of Lego Star Wars and be like, what can we re-release? What can we redo exactly to a T of the original version to destroy this massive market? I as much as people like to think it would be a good thing that all of a sudden these things are accessible and really cheap, I think that it would be frowned upon by a lot of the Lego Star Wars community because like it kind of ruins the idea of like collecting and like having things that could be cool later down the line. It's like kids today can get a Boba Fett. It's not like Boba Fett is inaccessible or anything. You can get your Boba Fett. But the original, specific, special Boba Fett, it's not like a 5-year-old's going to lose it because they don't have that. They don't even know it exists. They won't know it exists for another 10 years, But, like, I don't know. That's just the way I look at it. I just don't think it's going to happen. And even if it did, I think the originals would still retain quite a bit of value. And I think the same thing can be seen when they re-release sets. Like, when they redo ATTs, the old ATTs aren't going to go down super significantly in value because they're still special and cool and unique in their own way. So that is it for Ask MandR episode 222. Hopefully you enjoyed my co-host, Michael.
Thanks for having me.
Security guard. Make sure you guys check out his channel, linked in the description below, and we'll have some vlogs out on our experience at the iDubbbz fight showdown.
It was good.
It was a great time. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here, and comments go down below with your questions for next week. Goodbye.
suffered.